My goodness. Good morning. How are you? I'm Mary Winters. I'm a gerontologist, the owner of About Senior Solutions, and you are watching Visionary Aging. We have a really neat show for you today. We are going to be interviewing RBirotte. She is a maven of many things, but she is a recreational therapist and has a new book out. It's available right now on Amazon, and it is called 365 Days Later. And all of a sudden, you have a marvelous life story to share with your family. It's a wonderful activity to do with family. And I think you're really going to enjoy her expertise and her the fun side of her motivation behind this whole thing. So let me go ahead and see if Steve McCullough's here with us. And I think he probably has a caregiver question. So let's see here. See if we can bring him on board. So, hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Having some technical difficulties back here, but it seems to be working out okay. So tell me, I know you know what? Do you want the intro? We'll do the intro.
Okay,
So let's see. We'll just do it. Okay. So what is your question that you have today?
So the question I have today, which I think is kind of appropriate because we hear about this new surge in COVID cases going on in LA County. So a person wrote in their parent, one of their parents is in a skilled nursing facility, and their parents' roommate at the skilled nursing facility tested positive for COVID. So how does that impact the parent and visitation and all that fun stuff?
Oh boy. Yeah, here it goes again. Typically they move the person who tested positive to another area. They may move the parent depending on what makes sense. And they'll continue to test to make sure that your parent is safe. Oftentimes they do limit those visits. Then they may cut visits down altogether or schedule something for outside. So I would definitely call the building in advance and find out what they're doing, because everybody seems to kind of still be interpreting the rules a little bit differently, but they may just shut down altogether just to reduce the risk. Yeah, but they will isolate your parent away from that individual and continue testing them to make sure that they're okay. So yeah, it's still going on. So and it's summertime, so we'll see what happens into the fall. But definitely continued challenge. I'm sorry to hear that that's happening to your person who asked the question. So, but we have RBirotte on with us today. She's really amazing. We've worked on other projects together. We're working on some things right now, and she has her master's in recreational therapy. And she just wrote this really neat journal, and I'm going to bring her on. And how about, are you going to stay around till later and we'll talk afterwards?
I will be around. Have a great show.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks. So we'll go ahead and bring Rebecca on, see if I can find her. And we'll share a little bit about her most recent project. Good morning, Rebecca. How are you?
Good morning. How are you, Mary? Thank you for having me today.
Oh, absolutely. It's so fun. You just have such a great energy. And we know that we're both Sagittariuses, so we just have a lot of fun and kind of some creative banter all the time, which is great. I think it helps to feed off of what our clients really need oftentimes too. So, but tell me, you wrote a book called 365 Days Later, right?
Yes, it's actually a journal. I think you had it up there. I also have it here. Oh, there you go. Okay. 365 Days Later, My Life Story. So that's part of it also. That's a huge part of it, my life story. So what it is a journal that archives someone's life, is what we're looking at here. And obviously, you see the cover with the old school typewriter there.
Yeah, that's great.
Which I love. myself and a Healthy Solutions, that's my business, Healthy Solutions team member, Amanda Andrade. We both worked on this, and yes, 2022, it finally came to life here. And yeah, so I'm
That's
excited.
great. Let me highlight one of these pages here too, so that we could see what it looks like on the inside. You chose to like have keywords and maybe some personal quotes or notes in addition to the question that you ask. So tell me a little bit about that and how you kind of came up with that.
Yeah, well, let me first tell you what this journal is not.
Okay.
Uh, it's not your regular journal. It has thought-provoking questions. It's meant to elicit introspection, connection if you're doing it with somebody else. So it's different, and it's meant to really get the reader and recorder thinking and sharing. And so, yes, if you look at those pages here, we have prompts there, and then we have at the top there we have keywords. Keywords are, dependent on that prompt. Things that maybe come to mind when you're flushing out the answer that you want to put there in the middle. And then quotes. I'm a huge quote person. Amanda loves quotes. And I think everybody kind of loves
Yeah.
quotes.
Yeah.
And so this could be a quote from the actual person you're trying to record, or it could
Nice.
be just something that stands out to that person or even to the recorder. And so it's really meant to encompass just about everything there, flushing that
Right.
prompt out. What are the keywords there? What are quotes that connect to whatever you wrote down? So it's a little different, but we like the format there.
Oh yeah, no, it is unique. I've never seen a journal like that. We have a journal that we give away to our clients, but I do like the quote, and I like how you made it very different and unique, and I think that's very special, and it speaks a lot to you and your creativity. So, and Amanda, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Amanda's great also. If I could, I can just go over the actual topic areas, because a
sure.
journal is broken down into parts of your life. And
Hmm.
so I'll do that real quick. So we have obviously the growing years. So it's
Sure.
focused on childhood, adolescence, high school. Family and friends is another topic. So
That's
we
neat.
really get kind of deep in there too. Love and connection.
Oh,
That's a big one.
that could be an interesting one, right? I've even sat with clients before, and they'll talk about old boyfriends before they met dad, and they kind of look at me like we've never knew about this guy before.
Right. And to your point, Mary, I mean, that's really what the other big focus of this journal is the connection between, again, if we're looking at family members there, if we're looking at caregivers
Mhm.
recording for the person that they're caring for the family. We're really looking at that connection and what comes out of the discussion with the prompts there. So
Neat.
discovery is another one. So that's a big that's a big one, as you can imagine. Beauty, excitement, and wonder is
Ooh,
another.
yeah, interesting.
Service and spirituality is
Very
another.
important. Yeah.
More about who I am, and then just again my quotes and sayings.
Nice.
And don't we all wish, I know we hear that with raising kids and, wishing that we all recorded all these funny sayings, but here again, it's life. It's a person's life, and what are the things that they always repeated and that
Right.
stuck in your head?
Right.
So those are the topic areas. So it really is unique in content, and I
Yes.
think it's going to bring about some great discussion.
Oh, no, it's fun. And it's fun for the caregiver too, whether it's a professional caregiver or a family member, because it's something, instead of sitting idle, it's something to
Yes.
be able to engage with the individual on. And depending on how you ask that question or even repeat, we go through with some of our clients too. We'll say, what did it smell like then when you were there? Or what was the taste of what your mom made? Or, it's just kind of fun when you can dig deep or ask, what color were your grandfather's eyes? Who would know that, as far as future generations being able to say, oh, I always thought he had blue eyes, or I just assumed, I didn't know, or my dad was always tall, so I thought my grandpa was really tall. I mean, he wasn't. So it's kind of interesting what people come up with.
Absolutely. And I mean, the vision is twofold. Of course, we can talk about quote unquote what the lay person would do. Any family could do this together, uh, you know, uh, on a timeline. Of course, you don't want to do the whole thing. You could do it with your mom, your grandma, and all those great things that will hopefully come out of that, and the newness that you talked about. But then the other piece is just as you talked about right now, which is the caregivers. So let's talk about residential living spaces,
Yes.
or group homes. So we're looking at, yes, let's give a caregiver something meaningful to do with the person that they're working with. And what an amazing archive that would be, again, for the family.
Absolutely. Just such
And
a treasured gift.
such a treasure gift. The other end of that, Mary, is in groups, in activity groups.
Uh-huh.
So a facilitator could actually use these prompts to lead a group in a discussion. Maybe you
Yeah.
could record, maybe not, but just to have that discussion in a group setting would be absolutely amazing for an activity leader to use in their activities. So again, I envisioned a couple of ways to execute the journal. And as we have seen throughout the years in working with the aging population, um, I see so many people come and go, and so many rich stories.
Mm-hmm.
And are
Absolutely.
we really capturing those stories? And so that's my intention, is to enjoy and connect with that person, the humanity of that person, and then to have that, for always.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know why, but I picked up my dad's old computer. My dad's been gone for a few years now. And I don't know. Oh no, it was on my computer, but I guess I transferred it over and opened it up. And my dad was starting to write his own biography. And he started talking about his own dad and where he grew up. And he grew up in Iowa, next to a Native American tribe. And just the stories he had about that were so amazing, unique, and something that I didn't ever know. So they really are treasures, and something that just amazing to be able to share. Immediately sent that out to my siblings, who read through it again. And it's remarkable to be able to have that kind of treasure. So
It really is.
it's what's going to happen. I see this sometimes in court. We have elder abuse matters, but we have conservatorships, or we have people fighting over estate items. And I've seen people fight over photos and films and different things. That way, they're going to fight over your book.
I would love
going to
that.
turn into a fight.
That's funny. Well, the thing about technology, and I've seen some great videos of life story videos,
Yeah.
but I feel like the technology moves so quickly that are we going to be able to access that in 20 years, 30 years?
Sure.
And again, there's something therapeutic. I don't know what the word is. It's just so different when we're actually putting pen to paper.
Yes. And I think it's helpful to the brain too. There's a connection that I think is very important, and it's very, it's very basic.
Right. And if you could get that person, the grandmother, the mother, to actually write in their own handwriting, I mean,
Yeah, it's lovely.
yes, it would be amazing. So,
Yeah. So what about people who might be a little afraid? They think their spelling's wrong or their handwriting's poor. What kind of things do you kind of share to motivate people to just say, just do it?
yeah, I don't, I think it's all individual. And if you have a person that's worried about that, maybe again, the family member, the caregiver, they offer to do that. And again, you're really emphasizing, in my mind, as a family member, as a caregiver, as a leader in a group, that it's about content. It's not about the spelling. It's about just getting it down. So whatever they need to do that, you preface that in the beginning and get that going.
Do people kind of bounce around in different sections of the book? And
Oh, absolutely. I think it's fun to take a look at it, look at the questions because they're all so different, and just go to the one that sparks your interest at that time.
there you go.
Can I share a couple of different
Sure.
questions?
Yeah,
From?
absolutely. Uh-huh.
So you had the one up there. What something that has always made my heart flutter. That's the one that you.
Oh,
I thought that was a fun one. That's the example that you have. One of my other favorite and fun ones is a guilty pleasure of mine is.
hiding chocolate, eating
Yes,
it, right?
yes. Yeah, again, I mean, you might find out some weird stuff. You
Yeah.
might find, right? Bizarre stuff. You might find out some fun stuff there. A moment that I had a crisis of conscience.
Mm,
So,
interesting.
yeah. So again, to your point, I think somebody picks this up, they can look at the topic areas and just go in there and see what sparks their interest and move there. And again, however you want to do it. Do you want to come
Yeah.
back and supplement, or something came up? Oh God, I used to say this all the time for this question. I got to make sure I put it down. So yeah, it's however that person wants to navigate that, or that caregiver family member wants to navigate that.
Nice. Oh, that's great. So how can people get a hold of it? How do they
It is
just
on
go?
Amazon.
Okay. So let me
You
bring this back
can
up too.
look up 365 Days Later, My Life Story. I can guarantee you there is nothing like it on the market right now, nothing that I or Amanda have seen before we launched this. But Amazon, yes, and hopefully in 2022, as we move forward and things, well, get better with COVID. I heard your caregiver question this morning. We're going to get this out to our residential settings and really utilize it there. I'm going to make a big push for that. So
I think it's really important too. That's great. So thank you so much for coming on. You can hang out with us if you have time, and at the end of the show, we'll just check in with you. Is that okay?
yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to celebrate a 100th birthday now.
I love it.
All right. Somebody from Cheshire, not close by.
Wow. I guess not.
All right. Well, let's listen a little bit about our birthday girl. Happens to be a woman today, and let's go ahead and get ready to celebrate her. Hold on. Well, we have a very special birthday today, and they wound up having a special parade for her too. Our little birthday lady is Nancy Goodnow, and she is from Cheshire, England. Her husband moved out there in the 30s, and that's where they started their family and their family dream. It was he worked for Veterans Affairs organization. And they said every year, one of the grandsons said, every year grandma gets to have fireworks on her birthday, and everyone celebrates the birth of our country and the birth of 4th of July holiday. You know what? She can't be from Cheshire, England, but it is a Cheshire, because I don't think they'd celebrate 4th of July in England. So let's see here. At a glance, it seems like many others on the street are celebrating Independence Day, but you know what? It is her birthday that they're celebrating. So have a fantastic birthday. I hope that there are many fireworks that go off for you, and many more years to make you snore. So let's get on with our program here, and let's go ahead and bring on Melinda and look for her intro. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Great.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, absolutely.
What a cool, I love the journal.
Isn't that great? Yeah, Rebecca's fantastic.
I think like you were saying, what a wonderful gift for the family.
Uh-huh.
But I think you mentioned this in talking in the show today. It's so valuable. Journaling is so valuable to learn about oneself.
Exactly.
That I'm sure the people answering those questions about their own life are, as they're being taken kind of down memory lane, are learning more and more about themselves in the past, present, and that's really cool to be able to continuously learn about yourself at any age.
It's about self-learning, and it's about pulling up old memories, which is also really good for the brain. And I think just being in the moment and thinking what is the most important, or the 2 or 3 most important things. I think it's stimulating.
Yeah, because when you pull up those old menus or old memories, or you really think about the important things about your past, there's like little connections that are made, little like,
absolutely.
Oh, well, maybe that's why I did this, and I didn't realize it affected me so deeply, that one event or whatever. So that's just really cool. I think that's going to be so great for so many people.
Definitely buy that book. Yeah. So tell us what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I wanted to, because journaling was the topic of today's show, I wanted to talk about the importance of health journaling, and specifically food journaling.
Nice.
So like the journal that your clients may be getting for their loved ones after today's show, food journaling can be a really important tool for us to learn about what we're actually doing. And we use it a lot with clients at the Strength Shop, because sometimes people think, I'm eating really healthy foods. I'm sticking to this plan or these choices that I want to be making, and things aren't happening. So what's wrong? And a lot of times when we just keep a simple food diary and we start writing things down, people realize that they're not sticking to things the way that they maybe.
I know. It's true. Or you just, you don't realize, or then you go back and realize, why is this not working? But if you look at your food journal, you could say, I didn't realize this had so many carbs in it, or I didn't realize this was such and such, or it's a great way to track.
Yeah, and it's especially important for our caretakers out there because whether you're caretaking an older relative or young children, a lot of times you could be preparing their food, and that's when little things sneak into your diet that weren't meant to be in your that weren't meant to be your choices. And so
Sure.
sometimes when we see those little things come up on the food diary, we now know why we're not seeing the things that we want to see as far as the results that we want to see. And then sometimes that prevents people just by taking that food diary, just by making that food diary, it prevents people from that, that cookie that they were going to just kind of like clean up for their kids or clean up from preparing lunch because they don't want to write it down. They're
Yeah.
like, no, I think I'll pass on that. And
Yeah.
so sometimes just by keeping a food journal, we can see those results a lot quicker than if we just kind of rely on making those choices without having a record of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be helpful in so many ways, whether it's a rash or whether it's weight gain or whether it's hydration or whether it's stomach cramps or whatever the situation is that you're trying to track. That's something that we do with our clients too, oftentimes, just to make sure that they're either getting enough nutrients, or if a caregiver's not understanding, we can kind of look and see how we can shift and do something different in the grocery shopping list and some of those things too. So really great point. Really great point. I love it.
Yeah. And it is important, like you said, if there's something that, if there's a symptom or some sort of health issue that is, that is it's suspected that it's connected to our diet, it's really important to keep the food diary, because then we can keep a diary of when our symptoms appear too and try to make connections between this food and a rash, for instance, or this food and a stomach ache. So that can be invaluable.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring Steve on really quick and we'll talk about what's coming up on our, what is today? Let's see. What is today? Today is,
Hi, Steve.
Good morning. How are you?
Today is, what is today? Today is National, can you see me squinting? Today is National Chocolate with Almonds Day.
I love today.
Today's a good day.
It's National Freezer Pop Day.
Oh, that's a good one too. It's going to be kind of warm this weekend, I think, too. So let's see and so there's the word search. And let's see, what's tomorrow? What does it say for tomorrow?
National Sugar Cookie Day.
I don't know.
Very delicious weekend.
It's a delicious weekend. Let's see about Sunday too. Can you see what that is? Oh,
Day.
I think that's lovely. That's lovely. Teddy Bear Picnic Day. So let's bring Rebecca back and say goodbye, see what she's up to this weekend also. And Rebecca, will you have a teddy bear that you're going to picnic with?
No, but I'll find one.
Okay.
I have some little nieces and nephews, so I'll find one.
That sounds great. And how about Sugar Cookie Day? I don't know. I'm not going to be into that one as much as the Chocolate and Almonds Day today.
I'm very suspicious of this, Mary. I don't know what kind of calendar you're looking at, but you're definitely not going to food journal today and tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, you can at least read about it in the perk. So we can get that one out to you if you want for free. So whether you eat them or not, it's just some fun stories about how that sugar cookie came about and the history of different things. So it's kind of fun. It is.
Yeah,
so,
I love it.
Well, stay well, be safe, and have a fantastic weekend. And until next week, we will see you again.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for
Thanks,
sure.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.